All right, Scott. So I want to have a little clip to talk about because I've been doing Saturday morning cartoons,
Yep.
and every Saturday morning I've been doing my retrospective rewatch reactions to X-Men and Batman animated series. The two goats, right? The two goats that are like these 30th anniversary things. It's freaking amazing
30.
to go back through
30.
30. Yeah, I know that's how this all
Wow.
started. It was that they announced they were going to do X-Men 97, which to me is sacrilegious, and
Yep.
then 30 years. I'm like, oh my gosh, 30 years. And I just started watching a couple, and I think it was right before or after Mrs. Pops was giving me the whole make it content. I don't know
Yep.
what we watched. We watched some make it content, just do a video. And that was how I ended up doing Throwback Thursday, doing a video every day on some older movie that I've watched. Because I'm always watching something old.
Right.
Yeah. And all right, let me talk about cartoons. So, as someone who's at least closer to my age than most of the other folks that are out there watching, talk a little bit about maybe some of your other favorite cartoons because people are lining up like crazy. Like, Pops, could you do this cartoon? Like, the requests are just overwhelming. Like, it'd be a full time job to watch this many cartoons. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be its own freaking channel or something. It'd be
Well,
nuts.
that's another
But do you
thing.
have specials that are favorite to you, man? What's what?
So
Go ahead.
favorites to me. So I'm 47. So I there's like a window of the ones I love the most. So yes, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, um, X-Men. I liked Spider-Man and Friends. That was always a good one. Mask. I loved Mask. Uh, I love Transformers and GoBots. What else? GI Joe was a big one for me. Thundercats were a big one for me. But then I also liked because I was a kid, I liked the gummy bears and stuff like that too. It's trying to remember all of them are crazy, but I think my favorite ones were like Mask, which was awesome because a car can become a boat or then a plane. Transformers and like GI Joe and Thundercats. I think those were like my four favorite.
That's
So
awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome because some of those we haven't really talked about yet. Like some of those have been asked about. Like, can we do this? Can we do this?
yeah.
It's like, well, they were a little bit after the time frame of
What's the
when I was
biggest
in
ones you're
my
asking about?
young pops days, and then of course I'm doing stuff that's in the '90s, so that
Right.
like big bubble that's in the middle, where the late '70s and '80s is like, yeah, that's where GI Joe and Transformers stuff like went
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah, I was
And I
mid
was a little
80s. Like
older.
mine's mid 80s to about early like late 80s because then, 91 I went into high school. So um you're probably a little bit before me.
Yeah, I'm about 5 years older than you,
Okay.
so
All right.
it was a little bit sooner, but I was such an uber nerd even in high school. I didn't even care. Like for me, I was reading comic books and I was
Oh,
gonna get mocked and belittled for that. But I was also into sports. So for the most part, a lot of them just kind of left you alone because I knew more about sports than most of them. So it was like I
yeah.
kind of played both angles. It didn't really matter too much.
Yep.
But yeah,
That's
the
what I
cartoon stuff. Yeah, so good.
No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, man. I was gonna say the one advice I would give to all nerds out there is play a sport, play one sport, and be halfway decent at it. If you could do that, it changes everything, because no one can attack you. You could be, dude. I was in the choir. I played sports. Like I did it all because I just didn't give a crap what anybody thought. And if you don't give a crap, they really can't affect you. So if any younger people are watching this, be yourself and enjoy life. But do a sport just because it's healthy.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I grew up in that. I was born in Indiana, so you're given up basketball at birth, I think. So it was like a no brainer. Um, and it just seemed like being like the sport heads and the nerds. It's just like two
Yep.
different worlds, but it's like yeah, I was good. I was good. And
The sportos and motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him. They think he's a
I was good. And here it's like really strange. We did like a sports night. It was kind of weird, and you could just feel it. It just felt like a weird stream in the
Oh
grand
yeah.
scheme. Even though we ended up talking about sports movies at the end, it
Yep.
was like, well, yeah, but it was still, yeah, same, yeah, it's
Well,
fine. But
that too with
yeah,
music, which you don't think would be weird. That '70s show fan, rock fan, and myself, and sometimes Mr. Grant Gregory on Thursday nights, we've been doing a Beatles stream, and literally maybe 100 views if I'm lucky on the stream, like after a week. But
mm,
like we have so much fun doing it. It's like whatever, like I just would have thought people would have like sports and music. I would have thought, but we are like uber nerds, so I guess people don't like that stuff. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's just it's a weird crossover. But anyway,
what were your favorite
there
comics?
you go.
Or not comics. I'm sorry. What were your favorite cartoons?
So growing up, it was more like the Saturday morning cartoons, like the traditional stuff. So a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff. I mean, I was
about
like
to bring that up.
really, really young, and even all the way from Scooby all the way through to like Laugh Olympics. Laugh Olympics is to me like this guilty pleasure of stupidity to this day. Just makes me smile.
Yep.
I have it. I have a couple of these DVDs of Laugh Olympic episodes, and I don't know when I had them on. The grandkids had tuned out. They weren't even paying any attention, and I'm in there still listening to this stuff. It was like so good. Because I have this massive Hanna-Barbera, like all this like this obscure stuff that I had found. It's like Jabberjaw and Speed Buggy and stuff like that. Jabberjaw. Yeah, Hong Kong Phooey. I mean, I have all
one of my
stuff,
favorites.
And it's just like, yeah. I love Hong Kong Phooey, man.
What about what were the guys who used to? There were three people: a mom, a dad, and a kid, and like they had the Glub Glub guy and the rhino that shot balls out of its
right?
Herculoids, I love them. Oh,
yeah. Actually, I've been asked about doing Herculoids, and Thundar the Barbarian were two that were brought
Thundar
up.
the
Like
Barbarian.
so obscure.
Yes.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get 10 views, but I'm gonna be filled with such joy.
Dude, I'll be one of those views in a heartbeat, man. I forgot about Thundar the Barbarian. Dude, that was one of my favorite ones ever because I was like, that was the first time I ever thought of Lost History. Literally, that show changed my life forever because I was like, wow, it's like apocalyptic. Like, I'm a little kid thinking this. I'm like, that's our world, but like, it's destroyed and they don't realize it's our world because they're so like maybe that happened in our past, and it literally opened the door to Lost History for me. So amazing you just said that show because I completely forgot that's what triggered it. Holy crap. I learned something about myself.
That was one of the there you go. This show has served its course, that's for sure. So the other one that I found just recently, because Ironcaster is the co-host on Talk Hard, he turned me on to Tubi stuff, and I was down the rabbit hole with Kamen Rider, like the live action ones like Ultraman and all that kind of stuff, which was a big deal, mostly in the afternoons back then, not really so much just the morning cartoons, but the afternoons during the week in particular.
Right.
Was Battle of the Planets. The Gotcha Man guys, the G-Force stuff, right? And it had been modified, right? There's a Japanese version, but what we got. And I found a whole YouTube playlist, like for free. They're like all there. And I'm like, holy cow. So I was down actually that just happened. I was down the rabbit hole, the Battle of the Planet rabbit hole. Because I've learned to check YouTube because my kids, I'll have to find it for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was super easy to find. You remember how the episodes used to be like 2 episodes in one?
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
They're like two 8 to 10 minute. Yeah. So they'll just be like, each one is all separated out. So it's a little more comprehensive. But this Saturday morning cartoons is kind of like this cool nostalgic thing for me to kind of bring back at least a little bit. So at least everything has been anchored around the big two, and I've been adding So last week, I think it was the first week, I added commercials. Okay. So I just for the week, actually, this is going to air. Okay, this is going to air it. So it would have been yesterday's show. Okay. I added those are 80s cartoons.
They were great. I loved watching them. That show was awesome. Everybody should check out that show yesterday.
Yeah, you should have. If you didn't, you should go check that out. So those have like 81 and 83 commercials, like the cereal commercials and all that kind of stuff. Because those things were like, and I think what people have lost is that those cereals were like iconic. That's why they all had like characters like Tony the Tiger and whatever. Like they were figures, like pop culture figures.
Yep.
Twinkie the Kid was a thing. Like this was a thing.
Mikey. I mean, even actual actors. Mikey. Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, so I would love to have figured out a way, because it's like, you can't really play the algorithm right with the X-Men and Batman in one big video, but it would be kind of like more realistic to what it was like if you threaded them all together. But anyway, there it is. So
I actually
be cool, man.
Yeah, man, this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop.